Hey all, Bryan VantHof here with Remax Advantage Plus, Ramsey Trusted, and the Minnesota real estate team. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Coming to you here again from another one of our Remax Advantage Plus offices in the Twin Cities area. We have offices all over the Twin Cities. So if you're looking for somebody to help you across the area, I certainly have the ability to travel anywhere across the Twin Cities, central Minnesota area to help my buyers and sellers find homes. Hope you're enjoying this fantastic summer weather yet that we're having here on October 2nd. I know things are set to change here next week with October weather. It's looking more like traditional October weather. So this week we're going to talk a lot again about why this is the best time of year to be a buyer, what next year is going to look like, statistics to back that information up, and just to provide you a little bit of resources, information to help you make great choices for yourself when it comes to buying and selling a home. But first, as always, let's talk about the week that was in the real estate market for previously owned homes within that 50-mile radius of downtown Minneapolis in Minnesota. There were 1,110 new listings that hit the market. That's up 70 from last week and 33 more than the same time last year. Of that group, 767 were single-family homes, up 41. 248 were townhomes, up 35. And 95 were condos, down 6. 186 of those new listings did sell in the first week. That is 21 more than what we saw last week, the prior week, but 11 fewer than the report last year, the same time last year. So 254 coming soon listings is down 25 from last week and down 62 from the same week last year. Our total available inventory sits at 6,425. That is up 20 from last week. 616 more than last year, and 1,827 more than 2 years ago. Of the total, 4,051 are single-family homes. That's down 2. Median price of $475,000. That's unchanged. 42 days on the market on average. That's also unchanged. Townhomes make up 1,319 of our outstanding inventory. That's up 38 from last week. Median price of $300,000. That's also unchanged. And market time of 40 days. Also unchanged. Condo inventory sits at 1,055. That's down 16 compared to last week, at a median price of $215,000, which is actually up $5,000 from last week, with a market time of 84 days, down 1. 700 homes went from active to pending. At 1,036 went from pending to sold in the past 7 days. Moving on to mortgage. As always, a hot topic with what's going on in there. Mortgage rates are what drives the real estate market to a very major extent. So mortgage rates actually ticked down slightly over the past week by just under 1/8%. We are about 1/8% higher right now than where I had a client lock in at 5.99% back on September 10th. We are about 1/8% higher on that than we were at that time. So you should have a good mortgage broker kind of being between that 6 1/8 and 6 3/8 type of range. My 5.99 buyers were very well qualified. It doesn't really necessarily take that high credit or that much of a down payment to get the best rates possible, depending on the lender that you're working with. So again, between 6 1/8 and 6 3/8 on a fixed 30-year conventional mortgage. From 1 month ago, we are down about 1/8%, down 1/4 from 3 months ago, about the same as where we were 6 months ago, 0.5% lower than 9 months ago, and about 1/8% higher actually than where we were at this time last year. Showing activity has dropped a little bit. We are at 13,225 showings over the past week, down from 13,680, so down a little over 400 showings week to week. Last year, showing activity for this week was 12,380, so we're higher by about 845 showings where we were last year, and we have more showings per listing this year than what we had last year. So if you're a seller, that's a good thing to have a little bit more traffic right now. It's not like it's 50 showings a week or anything like that, but it is busier right now than where we were at this time last year by a little bit. As we'll get into, we are starting to see some buyers really start to realize that rates are good. Rates are nearly 6%. And we're going to talk about what that magic number 6% looks like going forward based on some predictions from the National Association of Realtors. But we are seeing, because of that increased activity, that slightly increased activity, some buyers are really starting to realize that I need to jump on this boat. I need to get on this horse. I need to get on the ship. I need to get in this. I need to go buy a house because I know what's going to happen next year based on what I'm seeing and based on what I can extrapolate from really kind of some of the information that I'm about to talk about. So for extra discussion this week, let's continue to talk about the benefits of being a buyer right now. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, published their 2026 real estate and mortgage related outlook back in middle of July, actually. And I think it's fairly accurate because so far since July, it's only been 3 months since July, but it's been pretty well spot on. So this is kind of reinforcing the things that I've been saying really over the past few months. You might say that the National Association of Realtors really only is looking out for themselves and realtors and try to paint as rosy of a picture as possible. Yeah, you could certainly say that. So if you choose to take this information with a grain of salt, that's totally up to you. But I really think it's pretty accurate information for what's going on. So according to NAR economists, a fixed mortgage rate of 6% would make the median priced home affordable for about 5.5 million more households. Not just people, households, including 1.6 million renters. If rates hit 6%, it's estimated that 10% of those additional 5.5 million households, 550,000 is that number, would be able to buy a home over the next 12 to 18 months, would be able to qualify for a median priced home in their areas over the next 12 to 18 months. There's a link below if you wanted to kind of review the information that I'm talking about here, just to reinforce that I'm not making things up. That 550,000 of additional demand is above and beyond kind of where things were exactly this year, maybe this year as an example. So we are going to see demand, my opinion, and NAR's, that we are going to see an increased level of demand nationally for real estate in 2026. I expect the Twin Cities market to be even busier than the national average. If you follow the Twin Cities real estate market at all, you know where we are really pretty much as average as things get nationally from a real estate perspective. It's not a bad thing. We have average home prices, we have average household incomes. We're just average. That's okay. That's good, actually, because we're not overpriced and we're not, our Minnesota Twin Cities area in particular, economy is very robust, well-rounded, and diverse to give a lot of different options to people looking for jobs. So again, we are a very average community when you look at real estate nationally. However, if you look at the article that NAR published, NAR's economists predicted metro regions like Atlanta, Dallas, Kansas City, Cleveland, and Minneapolis would be among the markets seeing the largest uptick in home sales if rates were to drop to 6%. And again, we are not far off of that 6% number right now. Minneapolis rarely gets mentioned in the context of having one of the hottest real estate markets in the country, but there it is. Minneapolis is predicted to have a very robust 2026, probably higher than average price increases, higher than average sales activity. Just Minneapolis is looking to have a very, very, very busy 2026, probably with the highest levels of inventory of closed sales that we've seen in at least 3 years. So NAR also has a great utility or great tool that I use to let me dig into their predictions even more when it comes to just the Twin Cities market. With mortgage rates at 6%, NAR estimates that over 81,000 more Twin Cities households would be able to afford a median priced home, including 23,000 current renters. If we use that 10% number, where 10% of buyers would buy a home, which that would mean, based on NAR's prediction, we would have an additional 8,100 home sales in the next 12 to 18 months compared to where we are, say, right now. Say over the past 12 months, we've seen about 45,800 closed sales. That would mean nearly, if we saw 8,100 more closed sales next year, that would mean nearly, if it was in that 12-month period, we would see nearly an 18% increase in Twin Cities sales over the next 12 to 18 months. That's a huge demand increase that is expected to start early in 2026, which could certainly push up home prices significantly higher in the next 12 months. I'm expecting a 5% increase just by the spring market, sometime around that March timeframe, February or March timeframe. And after that, I think we could even see about a 0.5% appreciation per month through June. So you could see anywhere from 5 to 9% appreciation in the next 12 months in the Twin Cities market alone, just by interest rates going to 6%. So this is part of the reason why I'm so emphatic about buyers getting out to potentially buy a home now. I don't see any predictions that say home prices are going to go down in the springtime. And as we look at rates, they're not going to 5%. They're very likely going to be in the high fives for the balance of 2026. So, but again, that 6% number is one that'll get a lot of people off their couches, getting loan pre-approvals, and out there buying homes. So NAR is predicting over 8,100 more buyers than average over the next 12 to 18 months. That's just, as I talked about 2 weeks ago when I used my horse racing analogy, 8,100 more buyers, an 18% increase in the number of buyers next year. If you're looking at horses entering a race, that's a significant amount of horses, additional horses that are entering the race compared to where things are right now again. And even on a typical market, just adding that many buyers to the buyer pool in 1 year, that's just a lot of additional competition for you as a buyer. So again, just something to consider why this is the best time of the year to be a buyer is just, here we are. Take a look, look at the information, look at the stats, evaluate. If you're ready to buy, this is the time to really get out there and make it happen, because I think you can add a lot of personal wealth to your portfolio here just within the next 6 to 12 months based on buying now. Not to say you can't buy in the springtime, you certainly can. There hasn't been a decade where at the end of the decade, house prices haven't been more than the beginning of the decade. So, I mean, you can certainly, real estate is a long-term game, but if you are a timer, if you want to time the market, I got to tell you, there's no better time than right now. Again, we are already pretty much at 6% on mortgages, but prices have not started to go up yet. In fact, right now, with kind of everybody looking the other way, family buyers looking the other way, people getting kind of locked in for winter here, unfortunately, you can even save 2 to 5% now and see a significant increase here again over the next 6 to 12 months in the value of your home should you choose to buy now. We're not talking about a few dollars here and there. We are talking tens of thousands of dollars of potential savings / equity appreciation on anything you choose to buy now. Just pointing it out, again, it's not a short-term game. You're not looking at this as, hey, I'm buying this, I'm going to sell it in 6 months and make a profit. But if you're looking to, if you could go back and say, I would love to be able to buy Microsoft $10 cheaper per share, or whatever stock you wanted to buy. If you said you could buy something just a little bit cheaper to make a little bit more money when you do eventually sell, wouldn't you want to do that? So that's what we got. Around 24% of all purchases are made by first-time home buyers. So if we talk about 43,000 or so sales in the past 12 months in the Twin Cities area, about 11,000 of those were first-time home buyers. Now consider if we are adding 8,100 potential new transactions over the next 12 months, another 2,000 of those, or 2,400 or 2,500 of those are also going to be first-time home buyers. Just that increased competition at that lower level where things are already tough are going to make those entry-level home prices going to be even more expensive over the next 12 to 18 months. They're going to decline probably at a more significant rate than the higher priced homes. It's just kind of the way it is. Your first time home buyers, you get stuck a little bit when there's lack of inventory out there. All home prices very likely will appreciate over the next 12 to 18 months. And again, all of this is kind of dependent on whether mortgage rates are at 6% or slightly lower over the next 12 months, which I really don't see is it's not an unrealistic expectation. I think most analysts are predicting mortgage rates kind of around there. Every week I'm trying to provide you with as much evidence-based statistical information to help you make great decisions for yourself and your household and your family. I keep emphasizing the benefits of buying now. I know many of you aren't ready to do that yet, but I certainly would encourage you, if you are considering it, to at least investigate your options. I love seeing people succeed with money. That's part of the reason why I am a Ramsey Trusted Agent, is because I really do love to coach and teach and help people succeed with their, in my case, on the real estate side of things. That's something that absolutely drives me. If you want to sell next spring, it certainly helps to have a conversation now about selling as well, just so we can give you a plan for when that time is right. real estate market will probably take off most significantly in March. March and April are going to be, in my opinion, the busiest time of the year next year. So if you're thinking of selling next spring, that's my timeline. That's what I'd love to help you get established and put a plan in place. I can help you with home preparations, get you a staging consultation, and just give you a plan now to give you a leg up on the competition when you are ready. I can also help you prepare for your next home, whether you need to sell your current home to buy the next home in a smoking hot market that we're probably having next year. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for sellers who also want to buy. It's going to make things just a smidge more difficult in that situation. So please forward this on. If you have anybody who is potentially interested in buying or selling a home and you think that they could benefit from my services, I'd love to have a conversation with them, talk about their goals, provide resources, information to make that happen. You reach out to me anytime for really anything real estate related. I'm here to provide you information and resources. So I hope you have that's all I got. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.